Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome. Today I've decided to look at the German destroyer line, particularly the torpedo line, or hybrid line as I like to call it, of the German tech tree. So if we have a look at the tech tree, we've got, let's have a look, we've got the V25, G101, V170, T22 Gade, Mass, and then we move into the Z-23, Z-46 and Z-52, and it's these three ships that I will be reviewing over the next couple of weeks. I think it would be nice also to maybe hop across to this line and follow up with a look at the German gunboat line, because these ships are all very interesting indeed. And you probably know about El Bing Bong. But El Bing Bong has quite the history of being controversial, quite a hard ship to play with, a quite high skill ceiling, but quite rewarding when you get it right. Okay, so I digress. Let's get back to the Z-23. So, what's the best concealment you can get on this ship? 6.2 kilometers. Now, bear in mind, she does have smoke and hydro, so she can contest caps, but her concealment could be better, so bear that in mind when you're playing her. Maneuverability-wise, she has a top speed of 38.9 knots, which is pretty fast for a tier. Not the fastest, but it's pretty good. And of course, she gets a speed boost, which adds another 8% to that speed, so you can happily sail over 40 knots, albeit for a short time. Her AA is meh, basically, very average. Total value is 47, so I suggest mostly having that turned off because you don't want to get detected by enemy ships. At the same time, it might be worth turning it on if you're in smoke. It might also be worth turning it on if the carrier has you lit but is targeting another enemy ship. But it's not the strongest, that's for sure. Depth charges, the standard sort of depth charges you get on a destroyer these days, with 2,200 damage. Number of charges 2, bombs in a charge 12, okay, and the reload time is 40 seconds. That's pretty standard across the board. Torpedoes, these are very interesting indeed. They're the most average torpedoes in the game, I guess. The detectability range is 1.4 kilometers. Not bad, you say. The speed isn't terrible, 69 knots, but that's because I have buffed them slightly with a module. The maximum damage is 14,400, and the maximum range is a rather disappointing 9.5 kilometers. That said, the reload time is 90 seconds, and these do come back to you fairly fast. Now, you can increase that and improve it with a captain's skill to get it down to around, let me see, 81 seconds. However, if you want this ship to work well for you, what you really need to do is take advantage of her main battery. The HE is a bit lackluster. The maximum damage is 1500. Fire chance isn't terrible, 7%, not bad. But if the enemy ship is showing you a decent amount of broadside, you'd be better off switching to the AP shells. On destroyers, if they're showing broadside, I would suggest doing this. Maximum damage is 3000. You are going to get some pretty chunky hits with the AP. If you fire on a battleship and they're angled, you're going to want to aim for the superstructure, but I would recommend probably switching back to the HE for 7% fire chance. And then if the battleship shows you any sort of angle at all, you can start farming your superstructure and upper belt for decent numbers. Okay. Survivability wise, she's got 23,450 hit points. The armor layout is the classic destroyer armor layout, nothing particularly special here. And then you've got the superstructure plating of 13 millimeters above. Okay, let's have a look at equipment. So what did I roll with here? Okay, so equipment wise, we've got main armaments modification 1 in slot 1, engine room protection in slot 2. Then you have a choice to make. If you have the coal, engine boost modification 1 is very good if you want to be quick and harder to hit. It helps with dodging, it helps with repositioning, and it helps with getting away from a sticky situation. So highly recommend that. or you could enhance your hydroacoustic search. This will not desync your hydro and your smoke if you do that, not with the Z23 anyway. Z46, Z52, that might be a different matter, but with the Z23, the difference between the cooldowns, if you pop both smoke and hydro at the same time, is just 3 seconds with this modification. So it's not something you're really going to have to worry about. So if you like hydroacoustic search and you want to lean into it a little heavier with the Z23, be my guest. Okay, no one will think any worse of you. In slot 3, I've enhanced the torpedoes because they are a little slow. I got them up to 69 knots by taking torpedo tubes modification 1. This is because I feel that the gun dispersion on the Z23 is already very good, and with its fairly short range, adding aiming system modification 1 to improve the dispersion doesn't actually bring that much to the table. So I've gone with torpedo tubes modification 1. Because I feel that 69 knots is harder to dodge than the 63, 64 knots they usually do. So I think it's kind of worth it for that alone. Okay, propulsion modification 1 in slot 4. Because we want to be able to juke our way out of situations. We want to be able to have good acceleration. This improves our acceleration immensely by 50%. So highly recommended. And then finally, for that concealment of 6.2 kilometers I spoke about earlier, you're going to want a concealment system modification 1. Okay, so yes, she does get hydroacoustic search, 5 kilometer range. Consumable action time is 110 seconds. If you add that to the cooldown time, it comes to 230 seconds, okay, since the start, before you get a new one. So you start it, and as soon as you start your hydroacoustic search in 230 seconds time, you'll get another one coming back at you. That, of course, is with the appropriate flags. With the smoke screen dispersion, you got 22 seconds. If you add that to the 69, so you press the button, the smoke starts coming out. That's 89, that's 60, 70, 89, 91 seconds of smoke, okay? And then 160 seconds of cooldown time. The 91 plus 160 gives you 251 seconds. So you can see 251 seconds before the smoke comes back, and with the hydro, 230 seconds. So you're going to have about a 20-second desync between the two, which again isn't game breaking. It's something that's very, very usable. You can improve that situation in this case by, ironically, taking hydroacoustic search as your modification, and that will reduce the gap by 20 seconds. So they should be in perfect sync with one another. But of course, we are throwing a flag into the equation with that. Okay, let's have a look at the commander skills. What I'd recommend with commander skills is preventive maintenance as your first pick, then last stand, then survivability expert, then concealment expert. 99% of destroyers start like this, to be honest. This is the classic 10 points spend, and then after that, of course, adrenaline rush. Those 13 points are pretty much standard to almost every destroyer in the game. Then after that, what do you do with the rest of the points? Well, I probably lean into main battery and AA experts so that we can use that really good German AP at decent ranges. So that increases the gun range from a pretty rubbish 10.8 kilometers to 13 kilometers, which is much more like it. Okay, so that's recommended. And then with your last 4 points, it's really down to personal preference. You could take RPF for 4 points. You could improve the reload time of the torpedoes by 10%, as discussed earlier, because she is a hybrid and it is quite a low CD. It's something like 90 seconds. So you could bring that down by a further 10% down to around 81 seconds, which is nice. Or you could improve the guns further with main battery reload time minus 5%. Both of those picks means you'd have 1 point left, and I would strongly recommend consumable specialist. Or if you're leaning into the guns more heavily, grease the gears, because her turret rotation is pretty awful, 22.5 seconds. It all depends on play style, really, okay? So bear what I've said into consideration and factor that into how you want to play the boat. Right, well, with all of that said, let's take this wonderful little destroyer for a spin. What I'll do is I'll start with a ranked match and then I'll finish with a random and we'll see what she can really do. Okay, we're going to try the Z-23 in a ranked match and see how it goes. It's the map Big Race. I'm not expecting superb things from this ship. She is a bit of a jack of all trades. She has reasonable HE, a little on the weak side to be honest, but very strong AP. Okay, we're up against a couple of Le Fantasques, a Baltimore radar cruiser, Venito, Vladivostok, and an Iparanga. So, quite a challenging set of ships from Team Red. Okay, our Fantasque is going for C with the Otago B and the Tirpitz. And I'm going to head on down to A with the Venito and the North Carolina. Or at least that's the plan. I'm going to try and light a few ships on my way through, but I don't think we're going to actually start seeing enemy ships until I'm down at the F line, probably. We'll see. Depends what the enemy French destroyers do. Okay, so she's a good capper, okay? Bear that in mind. And why is she a good capper? Because she has smoke and hydro. The detect isn't great. She gets detected at 6.2 kilometers, which is a tad high for her class. It's interior 8. It's not great, okay? 6.2 is not the best. But she gets smoke and she gets a 5 kilometer hydro. So if you're fortunate enough to catch people approaching your smoke with your hydro on, you can get a lot of free damage out of them before they eventually either break off or sink. So you can contest caps. She's a very strong cap contester. Let's see what we get. Okay, this is an Iparanga. That's not good. You see, he's seeing if my AA is on or off. If my AA was enabled, I would be shooting little shells into the air right about now, showing him my position so he gets a rough idea of who's here. So, keep your AA off at all times on destroyers unless you feel you're going to significantly add to the removal of planes in your immediate vicinity. I usually don't start shooting at planes until they're within my detect radius. Okay, we're going to leave those for the Iparanga and the Venito. Iparanga's seen the torps. Boy, can he turn. Yeah, he's found the gap. He's just found the gap. So we have a pretty skillful player in the Iparanga. He managed to go through there. The Venito, however, wasn't so lucky. And he swallows a torpedo. Okay, and we got a fire on the Iparanga. He's now showing broadside. Now, normally I would switch to the AP, but he's gone behind an island, so there's not a lot of value in that. Now, he's going to push my smoke, I'm sure of it. He's going to go wide round A, and then he's going to come hooking in to my smoke. That's what I reckon he's going to do. Clearly, the guy is on a mission. So we're going to lay one more. I'm going to lay one more spread of torps, and then I'm going to run, because I don't really want to find myself in that weird situation, particularly where I'm being hunted by an Iparanga. Okay, I think I've just made my first mistake. I should have laid the second spread of torps on the corner, because he's now turning to go into the gap that I've left, so the torps are going to miss. Yeah, and then he turns back out again. Okay. So what I should have done with the second spread I launched there was place them on the edge of that island, so that when he turns in to avoid the front spread, he gets hit by the second spread. And I failed to do that, so I'm just pointing that out for you destroyer mains out there that are picking up tips and want to play better. Don't lay torps like that. Okay, now we're just going to hide behind this island, and then what I'm going to do is, she's got 2 turrets on the back of my ship and only 1 on the front. So I should be able to keep 4 shells on her at all times, sometimes 6. Venito's got me lit, unfortunately, so I now have to back off a bit. I didn't allow for the Venito spotter plane, so I want to use the edge of the island basically just to put some shells in. So we're going to switch to the AP. 1 overpen, 1 non-pen, 1 ricochet. Okay, 2 non-pens. He's angled at the moment. He is angled, so you can see the AP isn't doing a lot, but he's starting to level out now. He's at an angle of 60 degrees to me, and you can see 4 pens, 3 overpens, and we actually started doing some decent damage. But I'm going to back off and use the torps for this next bit, and this time I'm going to leave them early. So we should catch him with those. We should catch him. I don't think he'll be expecting them. The reload on the Z-23 on the torps is very strong, and it can catch people out. Okay, now back on the Venito. Going to try and set a fire, but he's going behind an island. And we hit the upper angle with 1, 2, 3, 4 torpedo hits and 2 floodings. And that's pretty much his game wreck. He's healing through it, but he's in the grips of the Venito and the North Carolina. And down he goes. Yeah, Venito got him. Okay, so we've taken B for the team. We've put 5 torpedoes into the enemy battleships. And I'm going to just use my hydro just to keep things lit around me at 5-kilometer range. But it seems the enemy Fantask is all the way over at E9. So we've only got the Venito to deal with. I think I can just about creep some shells over the top. Going with the AP because he's relatively flat. And yeah, okay, we got about 1200 damage there. Okay, almost 2000. Gonna drop some torps. Venito just took out our Venito, but he was low health anyway. Our North Carolina will probably finish this guy off. He's slowing down and turning in, so my torpedoes are going to miss. And again, maybe I should have dropped the first set earlier, like I did on the Iparanga. That would have probably been the right play. But, you know, with torpedoes, it's a good idea maybe to always drop 1 set short, just in case the battleship's got its own ideas about where it's going to go next. Okay, so there's a top tip that of advice I rarely take. I should take my own advice in these games. I really should. I make the mistake and then I instantly realize that I've made the mistake. It's funny. And I've been playing this game how long? God. Seems like forever. At least 7 years, maybe 8. Okay, Benito. Now we're going to farm the nose with AP, and yeah, 3,500 damage, and then the North Carolina takes it down. But we could have farmed that nose. We had the smoke about to come off cooldown, and we could have just sat there farming that nose with the very efficient German AP, and we would have got pretty good DPM. I mean, 3,500 damage every 4 seconds. This is not bad, is it? So don't forget the AP on this boat. It is very strong, but it isn't. It's full fuse. It isn't SAP, so you are going to need relatively flat targets. Soft spots on battleships: noses, upper belt, superstructure. Mainly superstructure and noses, to be honest, but you can sometimes get good damage off the upper belt as well. Okay, well, the Fantask has gone behind that island. So what we're going to do is we're going to head that way, and I assume that he's going to loop back around the back of that island and head into B. So we're going to try and intercept him. That's my best guess as to what his next play is. We're capping C, so he's not on C at the moment. Surely he's looping back towards me, right? Okay, anyway, we're going to head that way and see if we can hook up with him. I've loaded AP because he's going to want to show broadside to use his guns on me. And AP is the way to go with French destroyers. I'm looking at the mini-map, something's blocking cap. He's still on cap. They're not capping C. He's on cap and he's blocking the cap. Okay, so where is he? He's behind the island right there, isn't he? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Confirmed. Wow. And he's going backwards. And he's got his speed boost on, which makes him a pretty hard target to hit. Good for him. But I think our Tirpitz is about to delete him. Well, the Carolina took him in the end. And the fantastic torpedoed the Tirpitz. Well played. Well played. Nice little YOLO at the end there. I like that. Very good. 494,000 credits made there. Third in the team, not bad. Top 3 position. Tirpitz played well, even if he did get torpedoed by the Fantask. Lovely play there, my man. Have a compliment. I like that. 62,000 on the Iparanga, 24,000 on the Veneto, 88,000 total, and only 795 on the Fantask. Okay, that was 35,000 of that was torpedo damage on the Iparanga, 15,950 other, which was 14,209 fires and 1,741 from floodings. On the Veneto, the main battery, we did 12,101, and we got a torpedo hit for another 11,833. We did 23,806 with the main battery, 10,505 with the high explosive shells, and 13,000 with the AP, and 47,000 with the torpedoes, and 16,000 from floodings and fires. Had I used my torpedoes a bit better, I think we could have easily gone over 100,000 damage there. Easily. Thank you for watching. Let's do another one. Okay, so we're on the map hotspots, and we've been quite lucky with the matchmaker. That's a very good matchmaker. I don't get favorable matchmaking like the other commentary or content creators for this game, because I'm not part of Wargaming's group, if you like. I'm an independent, so it could easily have been a tier 10 match. We got a submarine aside, we got a carrier aside, so it's going to be interesting. Carriers always add a certain amount of concern. We'll see how we go. That's my top competition right there, the Siliwangi, or Siliwangi. I think a lot of people underestimate this boat. He's got better detectability than me. He's slightly slower. We might be able to use that later to our advantage. But he is a bit of a concern. He's the one ship on the map right now that I don't particularly want to face, because it's a Chinese destroyer, premium destroyer, but he has Russian guns. He's got the 130mm Russian guns, which I find a little bit scary. I like using them. I don't particularly like being fired at by them. They've got lovely flat arcs and are very easy to aim. So that said, let's get on with the match. Okay. I notice he's in a Division 2 with a Charles Martel and a Vladivostok. So I've got to watch out for those guys, because they're going to be organized. They may well be on Discord, and they're going to be working as a team. Probably. They're not guaranteed, but there may be. There's going to be a U-69 on this flank too, and the U-69 is... I've played this U-boat. It's one of the sneakiest U-boats in the game for its tier. For a tier 6, it's actually quite strong. It's very hard to detect, and that's a little bit of a concern. I do have Hydro, however, so we might be able to light him with that. I'm just laying some perspective torps, and then I'm going to reverse into the cap at A. Okay, we've got a catch-a-lot with us, an Iparanga and a Monaghan. Okay. Shiratsuyu's all the way over on the 7 line at E7. Okay, good. One less ship to worry about. One less destroyer. I don't know what destroyers they've got on this flank yet. So I'm being cagey. Because another thing the Siliwangi has is a 5.5 kilometer hydro, which is 0.5 longer range than mine. Our Shinami just got rid of their Shiratsuyu. Good play. Good play. She's a lovely little torpedo boat, the Shinami. Or Shinonomi. Okay, something got me lit there, and I'm being fired upon by the Scharnhorst. Fair play to you, sir. I thank the Lords of RNG for German dispersion. Yeah, there's an Aoba on the corner, looking pretty shot up already. There, Charles Mattel's just taken out our Nürnberg. Okay. And there he is. We've got a Gallant on the flank. Okay, that's not so bad. And you see, I've got him lit with a Hydra. And I'm going to be having a go at him with my rear guns. Don't have an angle to get all barrels on just yet. But that's okay. We're just going to keep him lit for the Monaghan. The destroyer and the Iparanga are shelling him as we speak. At least I hope they are. Okay. Just drop some torps. So we've got to be a little bit careful of those. Okay, 1500 damage there with the AP. And we're lit by the carrier. Okay. I'm gonna just reverse back into my smoke and then back into the cap. There's the Gade. Still not seeing where the Siliwangi is. But I haven't been hydroed, so I can only assume he's not here, right? Right? I love torping smoke, don't you? We all love torping smoke, don't we? There's a North Carolina over there we can put some shells into. Okay, they've lost both the Gallant and the Shiratsuyu, so they've lost 2 of their destroyers to 1 of ours. That's good. There's the Gade. Yeah, he's got me lit on the 6.2, and then we go down. And then I come off the cap again. It's all a bit hot, isn't it? Okay, we hit the North Carolina for 2 torpedoes, 2 floods. And he's flooding out. Okay. I guess his damage con is on cooldown. He DCP'd. My luck. Yep, down he goes. Cool. Result. Right, so we're 3 for 3. We've lost our Nürnberg, Monaghan, and Catch-a-Lot. Oh god, we just lost another one too. I was just checking out the Gade. Duke of York's just been destroyed by the Charles Martel. And it seems that the squadron are on the far right flank. That's where the Siliwangi is, with the Vladivostok and the Charles Martel going down the 9 line, destroying everything in their path. Our Bismarck just took out the Amagi. I think these guys are definitely working well as a team. The Siliwangi's backed off because there's a Bismarck there. I'm just giving the Iparanga a bit of AA support because I think he needs all the help he can get. Not that my AA is of any good, really, but you never know. We might get lucky. Okay, so what are we left with? There's just me and the Iparanga on this flank now, along with an enemy Aoba and a U-69, and we still don't know where the U-69 is. Their Scharnhorst 43 is pushing for C. And he's getting mighty close to our carrier. And we lose another ship. The Vladivostok just got taken down by the Vladivostok just sank. The Virigid. I guess that's a Dutch light cruiser. I'm going to guess that's one of the new ones from patch 14. Maybe. Name like that. Surely that's Dutch, right? Let me know in the comments. Is that a Dutch light cruiser? Because I think it is. Okay, we're going to put a boost on. Oh dear, we are losing a lot of ships. The Siluangi just torpedoed the Bismarck. I'm just going to call him the Silly. Okay, so the Silly just took out our Bismarck. And the Scharnhorst 43 just took out our Richelieu. And there's just me, an Iparanga, a Skane, and our carrier. That's it. You should be able to get some good AP into the Aoba. That might be enough. Yes. Okay, good. So that's the Aoba dealt with. Okay, so we've taken out the North Carolina and the Aoba. I'd like to sink the U-69, but he hasn't really shown himself. He's stayed stealth the entire time. Do I go for the carrier? No, I think the Skane's got the carrier, actually. I think the Skane has the carrier. At least I hope he has. The enemy squadron is still up. The Siluangi, the Charles Martel, and the Vladivostok are still going ham. They took out the entire flank and are now capping D. And their Scharnhorst is at C. We're in a bit of a mess, really. There's 4 of us and 6 of them. However, I've kept my nose clean. I haven't taken much damage, so see what we can do in the Z-23 about this situation. Finally, the submarine makes a play. Okay, he's just sent homing torps at our Iparanga, and he's right on the corner at F3. So I'm going to head over to F3 and see if I can hydro his ass. I need that submarine out of the equation, because we only have 2 caps, and one of those is contested. Our carrier is contesting it, but of course the Charles Martel is catching up with our carrier. I don't think our carrier is long for this world. Where's this submarine? Okay, hydro on. I would expect the play from the U-69 to be that he'd be chasing the Iparanga, and so he would be moving into cap. But I have my hydro on, and I have the corner mark within 2 kilometers and nothing. Not a goddamn thing. So if he is here, he's either very deep, or he's backed off. Our Scharnhorst 43's just taken down our Furious. Okay. Didn't see that coming. And our Furious took out the Scharnhorst. Good for him. That should... so it's now 3 of us versus 4 of them. I'm going to drop some charges here, because I know this was his last position. This is where I last saw him. But I really have not got the foggiest idea where this U-69 is. I have to go off mini-map and markings, since my hydro is absolutely ineffective in this situation, which I find really weird, to be honest with you. You'd expect your hydro, wouldn't you, to be able to detect the submarine at these sort of ranges, but no. No, we have a separate consumable for that. Okay, fine. I'm gonna have to go and defend C then, I guess. Because I'm guessing the Vladivostok, the Siluangi, and the Charles Martel, that's where they're going to be going next. Siluangi just took out our Iparanga with a torpedo. That's not good. You know what? That Vladivostok's seen a lot of fighting, hasn't he? I'm gonna pray that he's used all his damage repairs. Because, unlike other battleships, the Vladivostok, although it has fast damage repairs, damage cons, damage control parties even, get it right, damage control parties, right? It's got fast. It only gets like 3 or 4 of them. Unlike the unlimited you get on other battleships. It's just the cooldown between them is really tight. Okay, let's see if we're going to have to sink this Charles Martel. I have no choice here. We've got to take out this Charles Martel. Who's firing on our skein right now? Yeah, okay, so we're going to start with the AP because it's a French cruiser and I know they're soft. Yeah, we're getting some good damage. Good numbers. Okay, I'm not switching. Okay, there goes the skein, and we are literally on our own against 4 enemy ships. Okay. Scary. The AP is still doing good damage, so I don't really see much point in switching. I want to take him down fast as well. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so I have 3 more ships to sink. Okay. U-69, the Siliwani, and the Vladivostok. I think we can. I think we can do this. The Vladivostok's just moved on to C-cap. If I get lucky with the torpedoes, this may turn into a bit of a game. He doesn't have much health left, but my AP is going to bounce off his Russian armor. And my HE is just going to shatter, so it's got to be torpedoes. We're going to do that. Usually battleships slow down when they cap. And I'm going to assume he's going to slow down and then turn. So we'll see if those torpedoes were predicted well. Something's capping, eh? That's got to be the U-69, surely. Surely the U-69 is capping, eh? Torps look good for the Vladivostok. Yeah, they look okay. They look okay. Alright. He's not moving very fast as he's just sat there. Okay. Okay, he's got C. Yeah, okay, we got a flood. Good, 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 good. Okay, and he's still flooding, so I think he has no damage cons left. I'm going to eat that, aren't I? Hardly armed, 672 damage because of the 3-kilometer rule. Okay, U-69, there he is. He's right underneath me. Okay. Keep him lit with the Hydra. Okay. Can I hit him with the guns? There goes the Vladivostok. And wow. Okay. There goes the U-69. So we got a double strike and a Kraken in one go. Double prizes, or triple prizes in this case. Okay, I'll take triple prizes. Wow. And that's only because the Vladivostok ran out of damage control parties. If he had one left, he could have repaired that. But I thought they'd been in some pretty heavy engagements. They look pretty shot up. Now the Silly is doing what I thought he would do. He's got very strong guns against the Z-23. He's already taken half my health with those 130mm guns. So all I can do is smoke up and return fire. I might shoot back. There he is. There he is. Okay. He's quite low health. He's got 5k health. Put some AP into him. Might get lucky. 18. 2k damage there. Okay. It's just me and the silly way. The silly. I like to chase him down and sink him, but he's smoking. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking because of the 5.5 kilometer hydro, he's going to light me if I chase him into that smoke, and then he's going to shoot me up. If he's got a hydro left, this would be suicide. So I'm going to reverse, and I'm going to head to C. I'm just going to reverse back out of here and head to C and cap C. Yeah, already on it, chat. Already on it. Way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. It's the hydro I'm worried about. That's why I'm reversing like a loon. I mean, he was heading away from me when he smoked and hit the hydro, but you can see the smoke goes in a loop, so he is heading back. Here he comes. Now, we're going to stay dark and run. Now, I imagine he's going to move into A. We've got 2 minutes left in this match. We've got 854 points. They've got 638. But we have we don't have a... We have a points advantage. I was going to say we have a cap advantage, but we don't. We've got a points advantage. If he's going to move in here, I'll leave some torps on the corner, just in case I get lucky. And I'm going to head down to C. C is going to be my plan B. We're both looking pretty shot up. I just feel he has the better guns. The Z-23 guns aren't really designed for engagements against destroyers that well, unless you have the hydro smoke advantage, in which case they're fine, right? But I don't have hydro smoke advantage. I have no smoke, no hydro. So I am a fraction faster than him, just a fraction. So I'm going to use that to my advantage and run. We should get this. Double strike Kraken. Yay. I still can't get over that. Oh, I'm lit. Okay, he's coming after me. He wants a piece of me. Okay, we're just going to avoid those. And we'll stay dark. We've 23 seconds left. I don't really want to throw it away. So you played exceptionally well, sir. I'm going to definitely compliment you. Put the absolute wind up me. But, yeah, we've got this. We've got this. Very well played. And we get the match. There we go. We win. Whew. Well, I think the Z-23 is a very fun boat. Oh, I got Solar Warrior, Kraken Unleashed, Double Strike, and Solar Warrior. All pretty rare achievements. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. And almost 1 million credits. Top of the team, of course. I'm going to compliment this guy. He played really, 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 really well. And I think I'll compliment the Charles Mattel too. They both played very, very well. And the Iparanga. What a game. Okay, so we got 45,000 on the NC. That was 20,000 of that was torpedoes. And out of that, 19,840 was flooding. Wow. 24,000 on the Vladivostok. Floodings, 13,636. And then 11,500 on the U-boat. 9,490. That was all AP, pretty much. On the Charles Martel there. 100,000 damage. 25,000 from the main battery. 2,873 from high explosive shells, 22,000 from the AP, 31,517 from the torpedoes, 10,000 from the depth charges, 33,591 damage from flooding. Okay, so that's the Z-23. I'll do the Z-46 next. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and thank you all very much for watching. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.